Hello everybody. Today's review is about the Filofax Heritage Personal Compact, but I shall deviate somewhat in this video into Filofax's manufacturing and marketing processes. So if you want to avoid those diversions, I put some timestamps in the description below. I bought this from a real stationery shop in Vienna, Austria. These days there are far too few possibilities to find shops where you can actually view and handle organizers before you buy. So I'd like to just shout out to König and Ebhardt, and I'll put a link to the shop below. The shop itself is fairly small, but it has a very old-fashioned vibe. It's packed floor to ceiling with items, so you can't easily browse and view and access things. It helps if you come there with an idea of what you're looking for, and the staff are really very helpful. But they do have an area with a lot of organizers, so you can touch and inspect those before you purchase. Anyway, this Heritage, this one cost €132.50. It's the same price as given on the German Filofax website, which is slightly surprising to me because the VAT in Austria, that's the sales tax, is higher than in Germany. You can buy it cheaper on sites such as Amazon, where it is listed for between 80 and 90 euros. But it is a case, in my opinion, of buyer beware if you use these sites. Something strange is afoot, in my opinion. Even in the apparently official Filofax store on Amazon, you see the same product, sometimes in a different color, listed at different prices. But also you see items seriously mislabeled. This item, for example, is listed as being A6, which it is not. Filofax do not make any A6 products. I can't honestly imagine them deliberately labeling a product A6. It is also shown as having 15mm rings, whereas they are 16mm. It's inconceivable to me that Filofax, even in its current form, would deliberately lie about their products in this way. And a lot of people have experienced mixed results ordering from Amazon, from damaged goods to clear fakes. Also, I question why Filofax would choose to offer products cheaper on Amazon than on their own site. I do wonder about the current marketing strategy of Filofax. Their prices are rising, while in some areas their quality is in free fall, and there has to be a point where people stop buying their products. Filofax didn't used to use discounters, but one now sees dump sales and cheap items sold in places such as WH Smith and TJ Maxx. I wonder if this is an effect of the market no longer accepting their standard prices. There comes a point where fakes are almost as good as the originals, and if they're cheaper and doing the same job, they're going to make serious inroads into Filofax sales. I'm going to keep a close eye on what's going on with this. They may just be emptying their warehouses to simplify their stock control. It's never a dull moment with Filofax. Anyway, before looking at this Heritage in detail, I also wanted to compare it to an earlier version of the same product. I saw a post in the Filofaxy Facebook group from Ryan Stewart, who, like me, has an earlier version and has recently bought a personal size. He noted that the interior leather was of greatly reduced quality, the stitching less dense and the thread thinner, and the leather is different. The Heritage range was introduced in 2016. I bought this A5 in 2018, and like Paul's case, the leather is buffalo leather. I do see differences in the exterior leather and the stitching. Let's see if I can, the one's obviously been used for a while, but there are differences. The grain is slightly smaller in the A5 leather. The stitching, obviously it's made in a different place, so the stitching is going to be different. The inside, though, is very different. The inside of the of the new version, and I can't see if I can get some light shining on that so you can see probably calm, but the inside of the compact, the newer version, has been rolled flatter, and it does feel a little plasticky, though I think some saddle soap and a little bit of time will help that. The A5 is buffalo leather. The personal compact is, so oops, if I can, there we go. So the A5 is buffalo leather. Cool. I have a program now, unfortunately, which puts everything sideways. So I'm looking at sideways angle instead of, and it's very strange for my brain to try and move things in a different direction to what's shown on the screen. There we go. So buffalo leather is the A5, and premium leather is the compact. So if you place the old item and the new item next to each other, you do see the differences. In other respects, I find the quality of this new personal good enough. It has a clear leather feel and smell, and I think it's still okay. But as with many Filofax products, keep an eye on the quality. It's often not what it should be or what it used to be. The reason this Heritage compact attracted me is its size. It's compact and it sits perfectly in my hand. There we go. So this is perfect for me. Just for clarity, for most people watching, it's understood that the size of these organizers is described according to the size of the paper they hold. In this case, Filofax personal size. I say this only because in some countries, such as in Germany, you would describe an organizer as A5, for example, only if the folder itself is A5. So this folder from X47 is described, can be sold as A5 because it is actually A5 size. The inserts are slightly smaller than A5. If you take another German product, such as this Roter-Faden, the folder itself is slightly larger than A5, though it holds A5 inserts, so that it's not advertised as A5, because the folder itself is not A5. So I just wanted to clarify that, because it's not the same. Oops, there goes a pile of Filofaxes. It's not the same as in every country. Anyway, organizers vary greatly in size, even when the paper size they are holding is the same. Let's compare this, for example, with the personal Cuban. So there we go. You can see, let me just put this sideways, maybe you can see it better. You can see how much bigger the Cuban is than this one. It's because the rings are bigger. There is more stuff in the Cuban. There are more pockets. There are more pen loops. And there's a zip, but the paper size it holds is the same. This is a very personal preference. When I was in the shop where I bought this, I was able to also inspect the Filofax Norfolk. This is the new range. For me, much too large. That's the last thing I want to be carrying around with me, but it's a very personal choice. Some people want to carry everything with them wherever they go. I personally want to pick and choose only what to take, so I prefer compact solutions. So that's the reason I just love the feel and the size of this this Heritage. So finally, I know how long, 8 minutes in, 9 minutes in, finally, let's take a closer look at this. The dimensions of the organizer are 18.7 centimeters high, 12.1 centimeters wide, and 2 centimeters thick. Empty, and without the fly leaf, it's just 144 grams, so it's a lightweight organizer. The leather on this one is brown. It's also available in black, and the stitching on this one is a lovely contrasting dark orange. There is no closure, and the only mark on the outside, apart from some natural bruising to the leather, is the Filofax, let me move it the right way, the Filofax embossed logo on the spine. Inside, you have, as shown previously, these very smooth inside covers without any pockets. Also the back, no pockets. So they're the perfect writing surface. And the only thing you have written here is the description of the product. Filofax Heritage Personal Compact Premium Leather. The rings are 16mm, not 15 as they tell you on Amazon. To make up for the lack of pockets, and I guess in an apparent attempt to give a throwback impression of a Victorian gentleman's pocket notebook, you have a flyleaf. If this had been properly designed or properly manufactured, it would be great. As it is, to me, it's an annoyance. Let me take it out of here so I can show properly. On the front is a small pocket. On the A5, let me find, there we go. The flyleaf from the A5 will hold a business card. So a business card size, it fits in perfectly. That cannot work on the compact because the pages of the compact are too narrow. So this is a smaller window size, unfortunately. The flyleaf is 2 pieces of leather sewn together with a slit in the middle. As you can see, it goes all the way through. Nope, it doesn't go all the way through to the bottom, so it's closed at the bottom. Very confusing. There we go. So it just has a slit between the leather there. And so you can put things into the top, or you can put things into this slit at the back, which actually just goes into the same space. There's not an extra pocket. Given that it's a compact and the size of the rings are quite small, it is quite thick. It uses a significant amount of ring space. So if if ring space is at a premium for you, maybe the flyleaf is not going to work. But you may still be able to live with it if it wasn't for this ridiculous pen loop. Some reviewers don't see a problem with this. It's probably a good thing that us reviewers all see different things in the products. Otherwise, there'd be no point. But it's just not. I know it's not me. There's lots of people who've complained about this. Filofax, in my opinion, and quite crazily, don't appear to prototype their products. Many other companies test their products by making a couple of samples and then actually giving them to the staff and using them so that they can see what works and what doesn't. It seems to me, especially when it comes to pen loops, that Filofax goes straight from design to manufacture. And I'll place a link to a video and blog post I wrote about Filofax pen loops below. Also, when you outsource manufacture to low-cost economies, this is made in India, you have less control of processes and lower quality control. And it seems that Filofax's quality control is already very poor, considering how many people complain about getting goods that they have to return at the current time. But this pen loop beats everything in its stupidity, and it tells you a lot about a company because they do not listen to their customers at all, and they have just continued blindly to produce this even after 8 years on the market. Should have told them why it doesn't work. This pen's looped elastic. It is fixed on either side of the flyleaf, away from the edge. So one side, 2 sides, as you can see. So the space for the pen is actually taken mostly by the edge of the... Always wrong. Come on, Graham. There we go. I can't really show it very easily, but basically half of the space of the pen loop is being taken by the flyleaf jutting into it. The space you have left is narrow, even narrower than the one on the A5, which is too small. So let me put the A5 and the personal compact together, and I hope you can see that the pen loop on the A5 is bigger than the pen loop on the compact. There's no reason for this. You don't automatically use a small pen, narrow pen, just because you're using a compact personal. But this is significantly smaller, the pen loop. Right, so you can put in a thin pencil, and it will, because the flyleaf sticks into it, you need really best to put the pencil either at the front, or the pen either at the front or at the back of the flyleaf. If you then have the flyleaf at the front, this pencil will, I'm drawing on my surface now, this pencil will will give bulk and take up this space, because it's inside the organizer rather hanging outside of it. I mean, Filofax, there are good reasons most pen lamps are designed to stick out of the organizer and away from the paper. Come on, you should know this by now. If you try, if you put the flyleaf somewhere in the middle, and why shouldn't you? The pencil gets in the way of the paper. If you try to put the pen parallel to the flyleaf, so sticking against the edge of the flyleaf so that it doesn't interfere any longer with the paper, it deforms the soft flyleaf. It deforms the soft leather of the flyleaf. So this is very, look at this, no good at all. Thicker pens deform the flyleaf because the elastic gets pulled. Because it's so small, you can't really get even normal size pens. This is the fountain pen I use in my diary. It is only 10 millimeters diameter, and it's a real struggle to get it in there. If you have something thicker, you have no chance. Some people who are more charitable than me, certainly, have suggested that the pen loop is designed to hang pens outside it using the pocket clip in this way. No. Just as you don't hang pens outside of your pocket, you don't hang pens outside of the pen loop. The pocket clip, even if you have one, because all pens obviously don't, it gives extra stability, but the pen loop is what should be holding the pen secure. If it doesn't have a good screw closure, it won't last long like this. You'll end up, if you're using this and you're on the move, with your pen somewhere on the road, and you're just here with the top of the pen. I don't think we should be excusing bad design in this way. The first thing I did with the A5 Heritage, and what I shall do with this, is replace that flyleaf with this product, which is also a Filofax product. It's plastic with false leather, and it has just a couple of pockets front and back, and also a pen loop that sticks out of the side where it should be. It may not be posh, but it's far more useful, and I personally like the color combination. I should note that these are very difficult to find now. I think it's end of line. I think they're not going to manufacture anymore. I could only find one on the website in green. So it looks like this, as often the case, a good product is going to be discontinued. If you do find them, grab them, because they may not be around for much longer. It's a pity, though, that Filofax couldn't have done better with this flyleaf. The inserts, pretty standard. I'll add them to my ever-growing pile of unused inserts. And I won't go into what's in there, because it depends entirely when you buy it and where you buy it as to what you'll find inside. The product almost lies flat. There's a little lump, of course, where the spine is. A little lump where the spine is there. If you have some weight, it'll lie flat without any help. If you don't, you're going to need to give it a little bit of training. But it won't have any problem whatsoever in lying flat once it's been trained. You can't fold it back on itself, but it's not designed to do that, of course, just like most ring binders of this design. All in all, I like the Heritage range. I like this product. It's compact, the size is useful, the quality is good enough. I don't know how long I shall continue to buy Filofax products, given the path they seem to be on. But I think in any case that the coming journey is going to be a very interesting one. Anyway, I hope you found that useful, and see you next time.